your charter's good.
Oh, look at that. I'm notifying my undertaker, make sure you don't jump in that too soon either. All right, gentlemen, we're inbound for Narragansett Bay, East Passage this morning. We're bound for Newport Naval Station, okay? We're, ETA will be 1900 tonight. Briefly, where we're going quickly here is here. So we're gonna come in East Passage, all right? And that's our final destination. In doing so, pilots will be Northeast pilots that require 2 hours notification. 2 hours notification on either channel 16, try them on 16 first, if you can't reach them on 16, go to 10. 13 won't be too, probably won't have much luck on 13, low power channel. Speaking of 13, code breaks demarcation is from Brent Reef over Beavertail. At that time, we obviously want to make sure we have one radio on channel 13, bridge to bridge, as well as 16. Pilots require 2 hour notice that will be given at 1600. We've taken pilot around 1800. We'll be dark or nighttime operations at that time. We will be taking the pilot at the November Bravo Boy, which is down here in the traffic separation scheme. We will be on the inbound lane. The things to be aware of at the November Bravo is there is some east-west traffic here that goes to Buzzards Bay. It will all be mostly local traffic, tug barge, ferry traffic, if you will. Block Island is down here. That ferry runs from Point Judith. We shouldn't have any issues with them at all, but they do also have a ferry that runs from Newport Harbor as well. They should all be monitoring 16 to 13. Shouldn't be a problem. Tugs and barges, you want to try them on 13, even though they're in ocean waters. They like to leave a radar on 13 at all times. That'll be your best chance of getting a hold of them.
Yeah, tugs and barges getting away all the time, don't they?
Scumbags. So, okay, let's see. Northeast Pilots VHF. Once we get the pilot on board, we want to review the pilot master exchange sheet, make sure he's familiar with our vessel characteristics, and clear up any confusion at that point in time. Also, we want to confirm that we have a berth and we have line handlers at the dock. We will not be taking any tugs. Contingency plan is if our bow thruster for any reason does not work, we will just have to lay for a while at anchor until we can get a tug to assist us into the dock. Other than that, no tugs will be required. Inbound, let's see, at the November Bravo Boy will be 345 for about 4.5 miles. That'll bring us into this lake here, which is just off of Castle Hill. Now, once we get off Castle Hill, the things to be aware of is there's a passive traffic separation scheme, which the pilot will be aware of, but just so that we know what's going on, we are required to put out a security call on 1316 at specific geographic points. The only two that we're going to incur will be here at Castle Hill, the security call 1316 that we're inbound East Passage, and that we're bound for Coddington Cove. The second point will be at this is the Newport Bridge, or the Pell Bridge, is known to locals as the Newport Bridge, so you're better off putting out a call that you're saying that you're at the Newport Bridge. And one optional one that I'd like to see us put out is here at the Dumplings. This is kind of a blind spot here. Any shipping traffic that's outbound from Providence or from Quonset will be able to hear us, and that way we won't have any surprises when we make the turn. But getting back here, 345 for about 4.5 miles. Then we're going to be at Brenton Reef. Incidentally, anything east of Brenton Reef, that's a no-go zone for us. Okay, there's been tankers that run aground there. You'll see the swells breaking over large ledge rocks, so we don't want to go anything east of what the traffic lane is there. At Brenton Reef, 015 for 1 mile. Things are going to happen quick here. Pilot will be on board here, but 015 for 1 mile. We're going to have real good navigation aids here, basically beaver tail light. Beaver tail light is very bright, can be seen from many miles. When we're down at Point Judith, if there's at least 10-mile visibility, we should be able to pick up beaver tail light. As we come in, we'll have this 1 mile leg, and then at, let's see, Castle Hill, this is where we're going to put our first security call. Will be 050, 1.8 miles. So this is leg here. We're going to perform engineering wall of the bow thruster. Let's make sure that the bow thrust is up and running. There's no issues there. Also, when we get to Brenton Reef, we're going to be picking up fair tide. We won't feel the tide pretty much till we get here where it funnels in, and then we'll start to feel the fair tide or the flood tide. It'll pretty much, the current, it lists in the books that it's due north. Basically, it just parallels the coast in this type of representation. It'll go, basically, it just floods in the direction that it wants to go. There's no funny angles or anything like that. It'll just be right on our tail for most of the way. At the dumplings, this is the dumpling, it's a little rock outcropping here, it's a big house on top of the rocks, you can't miss it, it's beautiful. And what we want to do there is we want to watch for small vessels coming out of Newport Harbor. If anyone's not familiar, Newport Harbor is a mecca for yachts, okay? And they'll either be inbound or outbound, but it's going to be, if it's nighttime, so it shouldn't be too bad, but during the daytime, it's madness. And if it's off season, we're okay. Other things, once we get up here to the dumplings, basically we're going to just shape up for the center line of the bridge. Okay, center line of the bridge will leave Rose Island well to starboard. At the bridge, will be 028 at 1.4. I want the crew called out for line handling stations, make sure that everybody's out on deck for that. And at Gould Island, basically is the terminus of our full ahead speed. Will be 078 for 3/4 of a mile. We're going to reduce speed in preparation for shaping up for our berth, which is again right here inside the break wall. Okay, this break wall is very good on radar, sticks out like a sore thumb. Many good radar contacts. As you see it here, is pretty much as the radar picture paints it. It's a great radar return area. Contingencies, if we should have failure of a bow thruster, we do need to go to anchor, or for any other casualties, steering engine. As you can see, all these circles are all designated anchorages. I would like to try to stay away from these here because this is where the car ships come out and we're directly in their way, and it's a lot easier if we're in one of these other anchorages, which is easy for us to do. We also have one off of Newport Harbor. We can anchor there if we have to, but I'd like to stay away from that one as well. We do have anchorages as well further north along the coast here, which we can anchor there, no problems whatsoever. Nav aids, as I discussed, November Bravo is a Raycon. November, that's how it's going to show up on the radar there. Beaver Tail Light, not a Raycon, but it's at the south tip of Jamestown or Connecticut Island. Again, locally this is Connecticut Island, but they call it Jamestown. That's what the locals call it there. So our Beaver Tail Light is going to be right there, and you can't miss a bright white light. And the Newport Pell Bridge also has a Raycon on it, center line. Okay. Dot did as well, so that'll show up on the radar. Okay. Other than that, I think we've pretty much covered it all. Any questions?
No, I gotta get picky. I gotta get picky.
Sure. Because he was very thorough.
The tide does not run. It's not a fair tide, it's a fair current. Tides go up and down, current goes horizontal.
That's it. I got an A.
Thank you, yes.